world. So, it's difficult.
According to Tasnim, several explosions heard in the Iran capital Tehran.
Difficult to figure out what kind of strategy to use when a market is being affected by world news, where it could be affected at a moment's notice. So that makes this kind of a trade much more unknown and risky. I mean, I would expect oil to test the high. It was making new highs all morning, overnight into 7 a.m. Pulled back a little. Not sure I want to get filled short, but look what happened yesterday. I didn't really want to be filled short yesterday. And being filled short, it hit the first target. The real question is, do you want to trade this report? We know the oil open is inconsistent. I mean, that's what we know. Um, Again, with prop trading, I have a bunch of accounts. I have an account that I can trade. My life isn't going to end if that one prop account or even two prop accounts get damaged with experiments. Pretty much most people said they didn't want to trade this report, this event, because it wasn't working very well. So I totally understand that. I happen to be here, so I'll keep trying it, I guess, when I'm here for the moment. For this week, because of what's going on in the world. Yeah, I'm extremely aggravated. I'm very aggravated about the software, and that has to be taken care of immediately. I have a meeting with the programmer today, and it's really difficult. He's in Australia, and he's like on another day. It makes it really hard to get together with him. So that has to be resolved like immediately. And then Target was a good little trade, so that's frustrating. I'm going to put a reverse continue on the oil chart. I don't anticipate scalp trading oil in general, but I'll put a reverse continue on the chart. One target, one position, a 20 tick target, and a 20 stop. And I'll label it CL, reverse continue, apply it. Let me just decide what account I want to use today. So I'm not trading oil in my funded account, but I'll working on number 37. That's what I'll work on. All right, so my oil reverse continue is on account number 37. Just a general prop account that has a small profit at the moment. And then I'll put the range, the original range, on the same account. And you can trade one contract if you want on the original range, but I'm just trading this because I'm here. Um, I'm not saying oil's any better to trade right now because it just has been quite difficult to trade. Inconsistent. Yesterday we hit the first target, and I didn't really see what happened after that because we have a lot of other things going on in the morning. So I'll put the range on.
The IDF says Air Force launches ninth wave of attacks on Tehran.
So I'm going to load our oil new open range. right click it and date it today, 3/3. When you load it, it saves it. All right, our range is 8:59 start time. One tick above the range, one tick below the range. Show the range graphics on chart. End the range at 9:00:40. Position 1 is a 1, position 2 is a 1. We have 8 tick target and a 20 tick target with a 15 tick stop. BE -4 if it hits my first target.
According to the Iranian news agency's report, explosions heard in Tehran and Karaj, west of the capital.
So that's my range trade. Let's put it on account number 37 also. All right. Putting a reverse continue on my RTY chart. In preparation of the open at 9:30. One position, a 35 target, 35 stop. We'll label it RTY reverse continue.
In 5 minutes' time, we have US Red Book year on year, prior 6.7%.
And I'll trade the RTY in the going to trade that in the MNQ market open funded account. I need to get that account going. It's not doing great. It had a loss yesterday on the open. It needs to get going or not. So we'll try RTY on that this morning. YM now. And I'll set up the RTY open. I mean, you could put, I guess I could put the RTY open on as well. So we'll put our range trade on. Add the second strategy on the RTY. Load the RTY range. All right, starting the range at 9:29.50. Range start time 6 ticks above, 6 ticks below. Show the graphics on the chart. End the range at 9:30.10. 2 contracts, 12 tick target, 25 tick stop. Label it RTY open, RTY range, whatever you want. Either for one is fine. Same account.
According to Iraqi oil officials, Iraq has decreased oil production from the Murmella oil field by 700,000 barrels per day on Tuesday.
All right, so the RTY is ready to go. And then we have our YM. Now I noticed yesterday on the YM, had we waited, just waited for the magnets, the magnet did work to the high side. It just took a while. At least that's what it looked like when I just was looking at the charts after we had left. So first thing I'll do on the YM is put on a reverse continue. And I do a 35-35, kind of like the
Surely
RTY
expecting
scalp.
the US Red Book year on year.
And we'll label that YM reverse continue. And then I'll probably do some testing. Now the YM's pretty negative. I'm going to put high of day, low of day on the chart. On a magnet. Right now I'm looking high of day, low of day. And I'm just looking one contract this morning. 40 on the stop at the moment. Default
7%,
target of
7%.
-3. So everything is pretty much default on it. Label it YM magnet. And that'll be on the funded account also. Apply it, okay it. So when you turn on your magnet, you're going to get your orders. Now you have a double magnet up above, but it's pretty far away. And below on the bottom, let me see what the target is. So if you enter below 8,000, will there be enough profit? It's not a whole heck of a lot.
The Aussie 1 month volatility
I
hits
mean,
10.87%,
what
the
I'd like
highest
to see
since May
now,
27th.
I think I'm willing to do it early if the YM's very negative, and I think if the market goes down, it'll probably test the low, and it may do it right now.
According to witnesses, the area close to Iran's assembly of experts tasked to choose a leader in Tehran was hit.
I think it's possible oil's going to test the high. Now, will it do it on the open? I don't know.
And according to Iraqi oil officials, export disruptions from Hormuz Strait slowdown pushed storage to critical levels in Iraq's southern ports.
All right, so we'll just watch and wait a little bit and see how our setups pan out.
According to LEC, French President Macron to address French people on Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. local time about the situation in the Middle East. And the IDF issues a strike warning to Iranians near the Payam airport area.
So oil's going to open in 2 minutes. And we've not been seeing super reliable breakouts at the 9 a.m. open. That's why we don't have a setup at exactly 9 o'clock. Good morning, Roz. Okay, here's the oil range. And remember what I said, I'm just trading oil because I'm here, not because I think we should be trading this report anymore. More out of a curiosity than anything else.
US effective federal funds rate at 3.64%, unchanged. According to Iraqi oil officials, Iraq also shuts down production of 460,000 barrels per day from West Qurna too.
It's a never say never trade. Exactly. That's true. It's a never say never trade. So here comes the open. Let's see what kind of move there is on the open. It only needs to go about 20 ticks to get to the high. It's not very much.
ECB settled 242.1 billion euros of corporate bond purchases, and ECB bond holdings under PEP 1.39 trillion euros as of last week. The ECB settled 1.816 trillion in public sector bond purchases. Apple debuts the M5 Pro and M5 Max.
All right, so our orders are going to show up now. Probably
Order
get filled
submitted.
long.
Apple
It
introduces the
looks
MacBook
like.
Pro with all new M5 Pro and M5 Max, delivering breakthrough pro performance and next level on device AI. And the 13-inch MacBook Air with M5 starts at $1,099, and the 15-inch MacBook Air with M5 starts at $1,299. The MacBook Air with M5 available for pre-order March 4th.
You know, do you want to get filled long when you're up $5 already? It's certainly a little bit nerve-wracking.
And Apple say the 16-inch MacBook Pro
Yes,
with
if
M5
you
Pro
think there's
starts
going
at
to be another test of the
$2,699
high.
US,
No, if you
and
think
14-inch MacBook Pro with M5
oil
starts at
is done going up. I mean,
$3,599,
it
and the 16-inch
recently
MacBook with
tested the
M5
high and pulled
starts at
back. So there
$3,899.
certainly could be another test of the high.
Order submitted.
All right.
Order filled.
It immediately hits the first target, expanding the second target, trailing, expanding the second target.
According to Iranian news agencies, building of Iran's assembly of experts flattened by air attack in the
So
city
I didn't want to get
south of
too
Tehran.
close on my trail. I'm not going to pull it back.
Order filled.
All right, so 140. So, you know, while oil is behaving the way it is, I'm going to trade this report while it's behaving the way it is. But I'm now done with oil. That's my oil trade. I'm done. I got a pop. Is it going to go to the high? I think it's possible that it goes to the high. I turned off the range and I'm removing the range. I'm not going to trade the range again. That's why you name your strategies, right? Name your strategy. So otherwise you could remove the wrong strategy, right? TJ, what was your setup? How many contracts? 1,600? Do you mean 160? That seems out of character for you.
The ECB says Forex reserves rose 600 million euros to 335.1 billion euros.
My setup on full CL. Do you mean $160? Not 1,600.
According to two Iraqi oil officials, Iraq will be forced to cut its
How
production by
many
more than 3
contracts?
million
So
barrels
here
per
it
day in a few
goes
days if oil
to the
tankers
high.
cannot
I
move
don't
freely
want to
and reach loading
chase here,
ports.
okay? I'm not going to chase with a reverse continuum. I'm just not. I don't like to chase. And either you stay in the original trade. It couldn't have been 1,600. It couldn't have been. 8 ticks and 20 ticks. The most it could have been is about $560. Something doesn't make sense. Take a look at your setup. Did you accidentally trade extra contracts or something or what? It doesn't make sense. So, if oil works, I'll keep propping it, right? I only traded one YM contract, selling at 89, and the target is 54, so it's 35. It's okay. It's tradable with one contract. So I'm just watching oil for a minute. I want to put the MNQ on shortly. I was thinking about the MNQ not working yesterday morning for me. And I think there were a few people that had it work on the market open. Sometimes, because the market's moving very fast, you'll get a very different fill from someone else. And that's why you could have one person win the market open with the MNQ and one person can lose it. You could get completely different uh, scenarios. Roz, yours didn't work. Now, Roz, you traded the NQ. NQ. So I tried MNQ, and the MNQ did not work for me. The reason I was just talking about and thinking about it is I really, even though it wound up moving up very heavily, the original open was a winning short. It would have worked as a winning short. It was quick, but it would have worked had I decided only to go short, which I was thinking about, which I don't like to do generally. I don't like to try to outthink the market. All right, so oil, it may go test the high. I'm going to put the MNQ on. So yesterday I had a problem with the targeting in the magnet, and it's a severe problem. So I don't want anyone actually using the new magnet. Use the current version. And the current version is back on the website. So I can't tell you how aggravated I am. But I'm meeting with the programmer today, so hopefully it'll be resolved very shortly. Look at oil. I didn't change my chart yet. I didn't change my chart yet. I don't like to chase. But today's the day you can chase. Doesn't it look like a day you can chase? Now it's a little bit late. You still have 30 ticks of profit. If you want to chase, you still have 30 ticks of profit. I find anytime I chase, I get killed. I get killed when I chase. But sometimes the market, shows you a good trend. Look at the squeeze. The volume is pretty high. It is the open though, so volume goes up just generically at the open, generally. All right, so oil, done on oil. Yesterday, the MNQ worked for you, Frank. What stop size? What stop size? That was the other thing. I was long, so my stop, really? I had a 150 stop and I got stopped. All right, MNQ on the chart. MNQ on the chart. So I'm going to put my reverse continue on. Like I always do. I always do a couple of targets, a couple of positions, a couple of contracts on one position. Let's speak English. 75 tick stop, and I do usually like a 40 tick target. And that's my MNQ reverse continues. Use it rarely. MNQ reverse continue, and I will trade in my MNQ funded account, which has a lot of room. It's not in danger of being terminated or liquidated, but it's not profitable. I can't get this account profitable. That's why I'm trading the RTY in it. So we've got our reverse continue on the MNQ. Well, now I'm going to put on my opening trade, my breakout. I'll load the template. MNQ new open, right click it to rename it like we always do. Today's the 3rd. We'll load it. All right, 929.59 on the trigger. The YM's getting filled, 35 on the target. Break even if it hits my first target. 35 and 100 on my targets. Putting the time at 0 just
Trump,
for a
in a Truth
moment.
Social post, says US munitions stockpiles have, at the medium and upper medium grade, never been higher
To
or
test the
better. We
bracket.
have virtually unlimited supply of these weapons. Wars can be fought
Order
forever and
canceled.
very successfully using just
Order
these supplies,
submitted.
which are better than the other country's finest arms.
YM got filled. I need to be on the right account. Come on. There we go. Stop. It's a 40 tick stop. I think the stop should be above the structure here. And that's where I'm going to put it. I want to give this report some room, this opening some room to breathe. Now, immediately, the YM has gone against me. Immediately. All right, MNQ, I was looking at, I'm going to turn off. I'm going to turn off the vertical line on entry. Apply it. Okay, vertical line on entry is off.
Order submitted. Order canceled.
And then I'll put the charts back on the correct time. 9:29:59. 35 bracket. Okay, 35 on target 1, 100 on target 2. And it is on my funded MNQ account. Apply it. Okay it. And let's make sure our MNQ is set right everywhere. So we have our reverse continue, and I also do like to look at signals. The problem with looking at signals on the MNQ is the chart spreads so wide, you don't really see them well. So I may not bother. Calvin, what size stop did you use on the
US oil
MNQ?
hits intraday high as Iraq starts shutting output.
200, okay. Or none.
Iraq cuts West Qurna 2 oil production by 450,000 barrels per day.
All right, we still have a fair amount of time before the open.
Israeli military orders Iranian civilians leave areas near Tehran industrial area and Payam airport near Tehran, warning it will carry out operations in the coming hours. IEA's Birol says convened an extraordinary meeting of IEA member governments today to discuss the oil and gas market situation.
Knitting. I'm using a 25 stop, a target, two targets at 12, right? 25 stop, two targets at 12 on the range. Starting the range at 929.50.
UK long end bonds
6
extend
ticks
drop,
above,
30-year yield
6
rises
ticks
16
below.
basis points to 5.25%.
6 ticks above, 6 ticks below. 12 target. You're using 20. So Nitin, why not use two targets, 12 and 20, and move your stop to break even if it hits 12? That way you maintain the scalp. Just a thought. That's all. Now, did I make a mistake by not taking my YM credit, my YM profit? People yell at me and say, oh, you're always chickening out of your trades and getting out too early. I think I should have taken that YM. Francis, did you take the YM? If I was trading cash, I probably would have taken it. That's the truth. Prop, I'm willing to take more risk. All right, we still have 10 minutes for the open. 10 minutes. So we have our MNQ breakout. I mean, the markets are very negative this morning. I know, Francis, it reversed like, it looks like it's about 5 ticks. It was more than 2 ticks away. More than three, because three is my target. Roz, I don't want anybody using the new one until I fix the issue. I'm meeting with the programmer today. Unless you understand. I mean, all of the high of day, low of day works fine. It's when you do unusual targeting that created the problem. I think I want to redo. I want the targeting to be simple. This really, really is bothering me about the YM. This is so annoying. It's going to stop. And now I'm aggravated for not taking that profit. Man. Man, oh
Order
man, oh
filled.
man. All right, I'm putting on another YM magnet because there's going to be a working magnet at the at the open that's going to work. It's either going to break that low. YM magnet. Man, I'll trade 2 contracts and I'll go for 15, 20 ticks through the magnet. Target one stop move to break even. And right now I have a stop of 40. Same account. I don't know why. I don't understand. Anybody who will ever understand these markets knows more than I'll ever know about these markets. It's hard to believe that they're going up in this environment. YM magnet. I'm setting it to high of day, low of day inside.
According to Axios, OpenAI and the Pentagon add surveillance protections to the AI deal.
So you don't really have structure to get a good fill. I think my stop was just too small. I think it's going down. I really do. On the open, I think it's the market open is going to be to the test of the low. And then who knows? Then it's up for grabs. Then whatever the market wants to do, it can do. Yeah, Francis is using the reverse continue like a quick and dirty magnet, which is really what it is. The reverse continue can absolutely be a quick and dirty magnet. If you just don't have time to set up a magnet or don't feel like setting up a magnet, then the reverse continue can be a quick and dirty magnet.
According to Axios, OpenAI, and the Pentagon new language not yet formally signed.
All right, we've only got like 3.5 minutes to go. VWAP is a good magnet too. This morning on the YM, I think the VWAP definitely gets tested. All right. So who traded Target? And boy, did I make a mistake. I just looked at my schedule and just didn't see it. I had the schedule and I just didn't see it. Never thought about it. Didn't set my alarm. I absolutely would have traded it. It's not a bad trade.
Hezbollah
It
says it
wasn't a
targeted an
great one,
Israeli
but it wasn't
tank
a
in
bad
southern
one
Lebanon.
in general. I would have used 6 ticks above the range, 6 ticks below, 20 tick stop, 25 tick stop. I would have used.
Israeli military issues evacuating warning for another area in Tehran, signaling an imminent strike.
Targets, I would have used targets of like 8 and 30 with a break even, -3, somewhere in there. Somewhere in there would have been my settings. That's a very generic morning earning. I would have started the range, so let's assume target was due out at 6:30, right? Would they do it 6:30 or 7? I forget. Let's say
The
they would
euro
do it
extends losses to
6:30. I would
1%
have put
versus the
on
dollar,
a
a
range at
day's low.
629.30 and ended the range at 629.58 if it was a 6:30 trade. 629.30
1 minute remaining
start
for
the
the market on
range
open
and
imbalance.
then end the range at 629.58, 2 seconds before the earnings were expected. And that's a fairly generic morning earnings setup.
Ten seconds.
Order Order submitted. Order submitted.
Market on open imbalance. S&P 500 sell side 794 million, Nasdaq 100 sell side 8 million, Dow 30
Order
sell side
submitted.
Okay, we
93
hit our
million,
Order
first
filled.
97
target.
Order
sell side
filled.
2
I
million.
knew the MNQ was going to be a target one, and that's all it did, just one target. The MNQ breakout is
Order
over.
submitted.
The MNQ breakout is over. Not
Order
thrilled.
filled.
I knew that stupid RTY was going to not work on the long. Damn. RTY has been a little bit tough. MNQ, well, look at the MNQ.
Shares of US
MNQ
memory chip companies
is
fall sharply.
bursting
Morning
long.
trade. Micron Technology down
YM
8%.
didn't give
SanDisk down
me, I still think
5.4%.
YM's going to test the low. I'm waiting for the YM magnet to test the low. I think it's still going to do it. So the RTY open, that trade's done. That's frustrating. I think the RTY I would think they would test the low this morning. If they want to go up, I would think they would want to test the low first. Now the MNQ did a pretty darn good VWAP test. Now in theory, I should be able to target. I want to leave this trade on.
Order submitted.
RTY, putting my stop above the wick, looking for a test of the low, or at least a partial test. Not getting the follow through. Need this stop above the wick. Has to be above the wick, at least. At least above the wick. Looking for a partial test of the low on the RTY. It's very negative. It's hard to get more follow through, I guess. It's trying.
The Russell 2000 index hits over 3-week low, last down 2.7%. The S&P 500 energy index rises 0.8% at the market open.
Just watching.
Tehran's Mehrabad airport hit by strikes, according to an Iranian news agency's report.
RTY pretty choppy. Can't seem to get that scalp follow through. Trying to get it. Can't get it.
Order filled.
Okay, so got some of it back, and there it goes. Tried to be patient, not touch the trade. I'm still waiting on my YM test of the low. I still think the YM magnet's going to test that darn low. I do. The RTY Open has definitely been a little bit more inconsistent over the past 2 weeks, maybe, I guess. I don't know. Everybody could report and say what their results have been. Can't get that YM to push down.
According to Iranian news agencies' report after Israeli warnings to leave, Hakma area in eastern Tehran in Iran has been attacked.
It's pretty absurd. Imagine getting a message, leave your home, we're going to bomb your area. Where are you going to go? Where are you going to go?
So just to repeat, according to Iranian news agencies' report, Hakma area in eastern Tehran in Iran has been attacked.
Now, in theory, I'm going to have to do the testing on replay. I really thought we'd get a test of the low on the YM. I thought maybe we'd get a test of this VWAP. I should be able to turn off high of day and just target the VWAP from here. But I'm still waiting. I want to see if we get that test of the low. I still think there could be a VWAP test also. TJ, he's negative 307 on it. TJ, he's negative on it. Okay. MNQ did a very nice VWAP test. That was a good test. MNQ, I think, has good magnet potential at the open also. It definitely has good magnet potential at the open. Now, scalping back a little bit of the RTY helped. Scalping that back helped. That MNQ funded account is it's like $500 under where it started. Its liquidation, oh, its liquidation is not great. No, its liquidation is fine. It's way far away. But it's just been struggling. It never has had much of a profit. So I've got to find a better way to trade. Either go with the full size NQ, expand my stop. I need a better setup. The issue of the MNQ is when you have a loser, it kills 4 winners. Yesterday I had a loser, it killed a whole week of winners. Because the winners are just one target one and reverse 80% of the time. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. I have to change it. So I'm kind of hanging around to see if the YM magnet fills and tests the low. Yesterday, if I hung around, it would have made a new high. Magnet. It took I think it took at least almost a half an hour. And we had ISM too. So that was part of the issue. We did have to deal with ISM. Sometimes, you have things that get in the way.
The Philadelphia Semiconductor Index hits over 3-week low, last down 4%. Apologies for any users using tick strikes. Our devs are currently looking into it. Hopefully this will be fixed soon. Thank you for your patience.
Order submitted.
Now, the stop's got to be at least above the candle. It has to be. Now, this will be painful if I lose. All right, we have 2 contracts on. I think it should get part of the way at least. Should get part of the way at least. Come on, let's go. Let's go. I could move
US
my
stocks
stop to
extend fall, the
safety,
Dow Jones down
right? So no
2%.
matter what, I don't lose. But I want a profit on this. I want my profit on this. Let's go. Let's go. It should get down there.
South
It
Korea's
should get
won
down there.
sliced the
Oh, it
weakest
almost
level
did it.
since 2009.
It should get down there. Push. Let's push.
Order
There
filled.
we go. All right, almost fully profitable now in that account, just down 20 bucks. Probably didn't have to move. I combined both targets. Could have
Frontier,
just
the Assembly of
left my
Experts
setup the
building
way it was,
that
which
was
was
hit
one
was not in
target,
use.
and then 20 ticks through, and I'd be profitable. A little bit too chicken finger on the setup, a little bit too chicken baby trading. Chicken baby trading, right? Chickened out again. Chicken baby trading cost me profitable
So tick
morning
strike
in
is
that
now
account
back.
by
Again,
20 bucks.
apologies for the
It would have been about
inconvenience and
100
thank you for
bucks
your
profit.
patience.
All right. Now that was, it just shows, one thing it
If tick
shows
strike is still
though,
not working, just
don't be
close and
afraid to take
reopen
2
tick
magnets
strike.
in a
Thank
row
you.
if one of them doesn't work. In a very
Iran's
negative
air
market
carrier
like this,
destroyed on
there's a
the
good
ground in attack
probability
on
that
airport
second
in
magnet,
Samanport city
sometimes
of
even a third
Bushehr,
magnet,
according to an Iranian
is
news
going to
site
test the
report.
low. Now, you'd think the MNQ would be a good magnet to test the low also. I
So
would
further
think
from
the
earlier, South Korea's
MNQ
won hits weakest level since March
should be a pretty good
2009,
magnet.
last down 3.3%.
Or you could take a short here
Order submitted.
and put the stop above the VWAP, right? Stop above the VWAP. It's not going to blow up the account, and go for a partial test of the low. Partial test of the low. Maybe move your stop to safety when you get an opportunity if you want to do that.
According
What
to
do you
Russian
mean,
sources,
your
Russian
self-imposed
grain
loss
trade
limit, Ross?
with Iran through the Black Sea and Caspian Sea has stalled after the US-Israeli attacks.
Okay.
US stocks extend fall, the S&P 500 down 2%. At 9:55 a.m. Eastern Time, Fez Williams gives keynote remarks at America's Credit Union's Government Affairs Conference. Text and Q&A is expected with the moderator.
Now, this stop should be above any movement above the VWAP.
Spot
In
gold
other words, I
extends
want to
fall,
be
last down
above
5%.
any price that was previously above. It may stop me out, but at least I want it to be stopped out with a new recent high if I'm getting stopped. Now it may be done going down for a while. It may be done going down for a while. For a little bit. It's hard to say. Hard to say. Now, what I was saying, if targeting worked the way I think it should work, okay, I'm at an hour and 5 minutes. I should be able to just
Canadian dollar
turn
weakens
on the VWAP,
0.4% to touch a
custom
5-week
level,
low.
turn on the VWAP, find my order line, and there it is, and that would be my trade. If price goes up, and that is working now. Yesterday, it didn't work. It just didn't let me do it. So now if I change my mind, I should be able to turn off the VWAP and just go to high of day, low of day. Now, I'm not on automatic, so, it's already down by the low, so I wouldn't have done that. That would have been stupid, right? So turn it off for a minute to analyze. But if I want to target S3, I should be able to turn on custom level, target S3, bring my order line down, don't ask me why everything's perfect right now. It's perfect, working perfectly. That's the way it's supposed to work. Anything I want to target, all right, I should just be able to
Spot gold falls as much
set
as
up the target.
5% as dollar and the
If I
bond
want to
yields
go
climb.
back to S1 and target it, turn on S1. Going to move my line to here. Okay, S1 has to be along because we're below it. And it's calculating everything perfectly. I am watching my MNQ.
The S&P 500 extends decline to 2%.
I'm tempted just to take my profit. It'll make me profitable on the day.
Order filled.
All right, so my funded MNQ account, I think it's probably going to go test the low. What do you think? Going to go test the low, you guys? Probably. So the only
The Nasdaq
account that's
100
not
also extends
positive
drop
was
to
the
2%.
YM. It's down 20, but it was down 400. So now it's down only $20. That magnet, you have to have
Reminder in 5 minutes'
faith
time, Fed's William gives
in
keynote
your
remarks at
setups.
America's
You have
Credit
to have a
Union's
little bit of
Governmental
faith in your
Affairs
setups.
Conference. Text
All
and
right.
Q&A is expected with the moderator.
Now, it looks like maybe, depending how long you want to stay in a trade, we made the right decision on the MNQ. It's not following through. We did get our downside, but not a huge trade by any means. So the only good thing about the open is understanding belief in your system. I see what you're saying, Ross. Okay. That's not a bad rule on a prop account at all. Not a bad rule. What I was saying, it's good to have belief. Now, here's a long signal from the ARS system. Not a terrible signal. The only thing working against this signal is the tremendous negativity of the market, right? You never know if you're making the final low of the day or of the next 20 minutes or so. You can wait to see what this candle does. You don't have to rush into a long with a market down 1,000 ticks. I never set up a proper.
Seeing a post on X, Iran has not contacted US about possible peace talks, says a Tehran UN envoy.
I was just thinking, if I was going to enter on these signals, I would use my long and short reverse continue. That's why I always have a reverse continue on the chart, because I didn't configure any of my buttons for trading. I did not configure them. If I was going to put a stop on this trade, it has to be under S2. All right, or at least under the low of the day. Has to be under the low of the day. Now, it's a pretty big stop because it's gone up quite a bit. So, entry, and you had a red candle, so I might not have entered until starting to think about it now,
1 minute
right?
remaining for text release from Fred Williams.
Remember, your entry
According
is
to the Wall
not
Street Journal,
generally
Trump
the
open to
candle that
supporting armed
generates the
militias in
signal.
Iran.
You still have the nice follow through at the moment, but very risky to enter along
A bit more further
when
info
you're
into this
down
article. Trump
1,000
is open to
YM
supporting groups
points.
in Iran willing
You
to
don't
take up
have to
arms to
put your
dislodge
stop
the
below the
regime,
low. You could
US
put your
officials have
stop
said.
below your
An idea that
candle
would turn
to
Iranian
keep your
factions into
risk
ground
low
forces,
if you
at least
wanted to try the
rhetorically
trade.
backed by
I'm not
Washington.
dying to go long at the moment. I'm just not, so I'm not taking it. But I'm just talking about what goes through my mind and whether or not I would take that trade. Right now, had I taken it, I would be negative. I would have taken it somewhere on that second,
And further saying
the
Trump
first
hasn't made a
candle
final decision
after
on the
the
matter. 10
signal.
seconds.
The more lows that are created, the better
Fed's
the
Williams
probability the
does
signal is
not
going to
address
work
economic impact
on
of
the
Iran
opposite
conflict in
side.
prepared remarks, Feds
I
Williams said
find.
central bank's rate policy stance currently well positioned, an eventual rate cut aimed at keeping policy from being too restrictive. Feds Williams expects the unemployment rate to edge down this year and next, sees 2.5% GDP growth in 2026 on an array of supporting factors, and expects inflation to wane to 2.5% this year and 2% in 2027. Williams says last year's Fed rate cuts better balance policy against dual mandates, and so far no major second round impact from tariffs. Tariffs are key drivers of inflation, but that pressure should wane this year. Feds Williams says tariffs impact most felt domestically, an economy on solid footing, and job market is stabilizing. Recent data on inflation has been reassuring, and more cuts warranted if inflation falls as expected.
So, again, just talking about this signal, it's not a profitable signal at the moment. It would have been entered somewhere on the candle after the signal. There's no law, obviously, that says you must take every signal. Now, is the MNQ going to finally test that law? I think at some point it's going to test the law. Oop, I didn't mean to do that. Let's get rid of that. So it was a risky signal. It was a risky signal for reasons said. Down 1,000 ticks on the YM. Not a great day at the moment to take longs, but look, we didn't get a signal here. There was no signal here at before the open because it didn't get 3 ticks to the low of the day. It got close. It looks like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 maybe. It's new, Calvin, and it was a stop last time. It's an unknown. CRWD is an unknown. Honest. It's an unknown. Broadcom has better potential. CRWD is an unknown. I think it's a company that's going to move the market because of the nature of their business. So I think it could be decent, but it wasn't decent the first time we tried it.
We have posted the article from the Wall Street Journal on the feed for those interested.
So what do we think about our RTY Open? Roz, you said you didn't trade it today. Why did you cancel it? I'm just curious. Why'd you cancel it? I wasn't really watching it because I was watching my MNQ and I was watching the YM. It's not easy to trade multiple setups. You miss perfect trade management. Not that anyone does perfect trade management, but you miss trade management when you have 3 setups going at once. That's the negative of having multiple setups. You don't have to trade 3 setups.
So just to clarify, in the Wall Street Journal, Kurdish leaders are in Iraq, not Iran.
Yeah, Francis, I don't know how I feel about it yet. I'm not sure. Um, so look at if you would have stayed in, if you would have taken the YM, now it's working. It was very hard. That was a very hard trade. Very hard trade. Now, it's not getting you rich. Let's be honest here. Let's say you got in somewhere in the middle of this candle. No, it's just barely working. Even with that, it did go 46 ticks, which is not huge on the YM. It's $5 a tick. So it's still not a phenomenal trade. Not yet. It could it could get there. Roz, what's been your experience with it? If it fills fast, does it do better? Does it, did you not notice how often it fills fast versus chopping around? You know what I mean? Any tips along those lines that you had noticed when it was really, really good? I think the RTY looks real good for magnets also. It looks very good for magnets. Now, see why I didn't jump back into the MNQ? It just seems to be kind of chopping around right now. And I think it's going to make that new low. The stop still has to be in the same place. You'd want to put your stop, I would want to put my stop above here, right in this area, above our previous high, above the VWAP. That's where I would put my stop. For MNQ, that's a pretty manageable trade. It's going to go. It's going to test that low. It's going to test that low. What do you think? Do I want to be 200 negative on the MNQ this morning or 150 positive? Right now, I'm not entering on a positive momentum squeeze. That I'm not doing.
The IDF says they completed a wave of attacks into Rana and
Roz, you think I
Isfahan.
should take the trade? So if I'm going to take it, I want to take it when I have my signal and I want a negative momentum squeeze at least to help me to get in. I'd like to see the YM. I'm a little bit concerned YM and RTY. They've made new lows. They may be ready to push off the lows for a little while. I don't think it's a great short right now because the other markets are looking like they may want to retrace a little bit. So I think I'm going to wait. Look at them changing their tone so quickly, though. So now the MNQ has broken its lowest level. Now you're starting to get squeeze red, but still struggling. Still struggling. I don't need my MNQ breakout. The one thing that my reverse continue on the MNQ has very small targets, I believe. Oh, Make it 100. Okay. I'm just watching, folks. We're done. We're pretty much done. I want to thank everybody on YouTube. I'm going to close our YouTube stream. Thanks for joining us, and we'll stream again tomorrow morning. So I'll see everybody on YouTube in the morning. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate it. I wish someone would comment. I know there's a few people out there. You should say hello. All right. Thanks, YouTube. YouTubers.